Welcome to March 2015's Helios forecast for the Water Triad. Anyone seeking information pertaining to Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces has come to the right place. Herein you will find astrological insight into the nature of this particular window of time, along with a brief 5-card tarot reading as it applies to all who watch it and listen. I encourage you to play this video multiple times this month in order to receive the full benefit of its subliminal affirmations and audio frequencies, as they have been specifically selected to enhance the quality of your journey through this month's energetic potentials. So let's lay out the foundation of this month's forecast. Now, Water Triad, you have the power to transcend many of the obstacles you have been facing. The Eight of Wands, like a storm, has loosened much that was once very well rooted in your deep emotional landscape. Here, as your central theme, this card implies that a swift and decisive action is in the making, or at least as a potential, is the subject of a great degree of emotional or mental charge. This can be the starting point of a major spiritual and ideological transformation. You are a deeply intuitive and naturally spiritually inclined bunch. Water as an element holds memory in its free-flowing crystalline structure. Like pockets of ancient wisdom, our water placements allow us to develop an emotional guidance system with which we forge our own paths freely while remaining true to our highest destiny, so long as we possess the tools to decipher our rich and often poetic emotional messages. The clarity of mind required to distinguish our own emotional energy from others and the courage to act on these feelings are also necessary. The energy of the Eight of Wands can help you with this. As you explore the unfolding of this card, you will be given the opportunity to develop one of the following dimensional timelines. The Emperor embodies one, and Death the other. The Death card is not what it may seem to be. There is nothing to fear from this path. In fact, it may be the wiser choice of the two, but not necessarily the easier one. Not because there is anything akin to physical death involved, but because to refrain from struggling or resisting in the face of this energy is challenging. With struggle or resistance, the transmutational gift inherent in the Death card cannot occur, and only needless suffering will take its place. Nothing is destroyed because nothing can be destroyed. Even the most dense crude matter is simply energy, moving slowly, and energy cannot be destroyed or even created. It merely moves infinitely through states. Death can be the subject of endless philosophical discussions. However, here it is best summed up simply. You have the option to accept and even invite massive transformation into your life. You also have the option to resist and repel transformation, but either way, the transformation is going to happen. You can only choose how you experience it. The Death card cannot destroy you. It seeks only to help you ascend to higher states of being, but you can choose to remain stagnant by resisting, though the Death card will touch you anyway. This can be, and should be, the direct continuation of the Eight of Wands. The other dimensional timeline you can choose is represented by the Emperor, who commands you to take his place upon the throne, to state your desires as clearly as you make them to yourselves, and step into a position of ultimate authority. The path of the Emperor is a double-edged sword, though, as it deals with the mental side of creation. When one's desires are made clear, they can be commanded into being efficiently, but this action inevitably brings about the experience of being on the receiving end of such commands, whether or not we are prepared for them. Sometimes, the scarier path is the more fruitful one. Just look at what you have emerged from already. The Eight of Swords in your past represents utter helplessness, like being held in bonds or in prison. Granted, such a situation had been brought about karmically, and was a necessary rite of passage, but nothing about it was easy, and you found your way out, navigating a maze of swords blindfolded, emerging relatively unscathed. So long as you refrain from delving into any story of victimhood, the challenges of your past, whatever form they take, however mild or intense, can serve as fuel for the challenges ahead. And considering the nature of what we see as we look ahead, you can be sure that you have retained the strength to receive the alchemical ingredients for massive change, and quite possibly even have fun with it. The Princess of Wands in your Fate section speaks of a new passion for life. She is not burdened by the weight of the world. Like the first spark of a revolutionary creative vision, this is a very exciting placement, especially after the ordeal represented by the Eight of Swords in your past. Really, the only ingredient you must provide in order to ensure that the Princess of Wands reaches her highest expression and to ensure that you can embody her joy, her enthusiasm, and feel inspired as she does, is an ability to welcome change. So let's take a moment to listen to what the cosmos has to say about this. The full moon lights the sky in Virgo this month, and for Cancer, this happens in your 3rd house, emphasizing the accumulation of information this month. Facing the intimidating nature of the Death card, you are going to want to study up. Cancer thrives in comfort, so what information should you absorb in order to feel comfortable with this month's inevitable transformation? What you believe you can do ultimately defines what you are able to do. Find a subject to get excited about. On or around the 9th, Jupiter and Uranus may lend a helping hand in some way, but on or around the 11th, Mars in Aries with Uranus may cause a bit of an explosion, so take things inward then. Like moving into a cocoon through the Death card, emerging as the Princess of Wands. On the 13th, you start to hatch from your cocoon as Mercury joins Neptune and the Sun in your 9th house, which is all about everything the Princess of Wands stands for. This can also be the point in which enthusiastic learning merges with confident teaching, perhaps occurring simultaneously. On the 17th, you can hatch further as Venus moves into the 11th house of social interaction, networking, and global community. Think social butterfly. Finally, on the 20th, the super new moon solar eclipse joins Mercury, Neptune, and the Sun in your 9th house, the point at which the Princess of Wands can finally take flight, but only if she did her homework first. For Scorpio, the Virgo full moon happens in your 11th house, which means it's time to reevaluate your dreams, your wishes, and your friendships with regards to your own energy levels. Are you feeling uplifted or drained? The all too familiar Death card is going to help you make some of these necessary external changes for a change, but only if you are willing to let the need be known to both yourself and to those whom this may concern. The window of time around the 9th, as illuminated by both Jupiter and Uranus, can bring about some good news, but Mars and Uranus explosively clashing on the 11th can potentially move that to the background. This is where the Death card transformation begins, and the need will likely be clearly revealed to you. Let things stay cool on and around that day. On the 13th, Mercury moves into your 5th house, bearing creative solutions. This is time to get excited, as this can be like the red carpet rolled out before the coming of the joyful Princess of Wands. Start sharing your creative ideas at this time. Venus can really smooth things over on the 17th as it moves comfortably into your 7th house. Close companions begin to work in favor of the necessary beneficial changes in your life, if they haven't been doing so all along. And on the 20th, the Princess emerges as the super new moon solar eclipse takes place in your 5th house of creativity, fun, and all kinds of qualities that are very much in line with the Princess of Wands. So definitely, set yourself up to step into this way of being. Open up to creative solutions to the issues that surface early on. Make the necessary adjustments and sacrifices needed to optimize your manifestations, friendships, and energy levels. Scorpio owns the Death card and embodies the phoenix taking flight, ascending through fire into boundless glory. Keep this in mind. Pisces, your Virgo full moon is shining a bright light on your relationships on the 5th. This is a time in which the truth comes out and reality shows itself. Through this experience, you can develop a checklist consisting of must-haves and must-not-haves regarding your current and future relationships, as well as what you are either consciously or unconsciously bringing to them, for better or worse. On the 9th, the very fortunate combination of Uranus and Jupiter helps you confirm the reality of the more self-affirming aspects of this list, and the volatile combination of Mars and Uranus in Aries on the 11th helps you make this list a priority out of great need. Of course, this list does not have to be a physical one, and the precise dates of these events are not certain, as they actually depend on you. Take things slowly. Do not be overly impulsive, so you may allow the subtleties around these alignments to sink in fully. The Death card will likely take form in the first half of the month as you discover what old patterns must be shed and what aspects of yourself must be transformed. On the 13th, Mercury enters your sign, which means it's happening in your 1st house. This will make it much easier to convey your priorities, at which point the Princess of Wands will have a chance to take form. When you can sell the importance of your priorities to those closest to you, you can free yourself up to start enjoying your life more and acting on your own needs. Venus moving into the house of communication on the 17th will help this process along beautifully if you cooperate. You may actually want to study up more on the matters of your highest concern at this time. Upon the new moon solar eclipse on the 20th, finally the Princess of Wands can emerge as you decide how your Death card transmutation is going to shape you. This is happening in Pisces, in your 1st house, alongside Mercury, Neptune, and the Sun. You decide. How do you want to present yourself? How do you want to be seen? When you pick your own bearing, you can make your relationship wish list come true, and the best qualities of the Princess of Wands can be yours, along with the world. Very important to note, on the 16th, the final of 7 squares from Pluto to Uranus will affect us all. Pluto tends to humble everything it touches, and Uranus means surprise. If we can play our cards wisely and responsibly, and if we humble ourselves enough to let cosmic wisdom reach us, we can minimize the often detrimental nature of this alignment and ascend to the next level with flying colors. So there it is. Check back next month for another Helios forecast, and don't forget to consider contacting me for a personal Helios consultation, which can happen through a direct session via phone or Skype, or as an hour-long recorded personal MP3 to download at your convenience. Both comprising of a detailed outline of all 3 of your provided charts: your astrological birth and current transit chart, your human design chart complete with your unique circuitry-enhancing I Ching remedy, and your beautiful tarot spread. Phone or Skype consultations are priced anywhere between $75 and $100. I will be honored to receive anything in that range. Personal recording MP3 downloads are $50. If you only want a tarot reading, or just an astrology reading, or just a human design reading, I can do that too. Just send a message to manyfacesofhelios@gmail.com to inquire about anything. I provide consultations for individuals, couples, families, kids, you name it. So don't hesitate to ask. Thank you for watching.